which means I'm sending my tweet as we speak.
All right. I
better put my other cup on my ear. I don't see your tweet. I see my tweet, though.
People don't really know that this is pretty much what we do for the pre-show anyways, even when they're not here.
Oh boy, now I'm getting my own echo back from having the browser open.
Little mistake there.
God, I love the what's this one's called, night driving, which is especially appropriate for the 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live takes on takes.
Working late, man.
Boom, boom.
Usually sleep by 9:30.
Hi, Jacob. Hello, welcome.
Yes, welcome, Jacob.
We're going to start the show at 9. So we have a few minutes. We're going to let this thing populate a little bit. Let some people pop in. Oh, look who's here.
Who we got?
Here?
Who we got?
One Chris Schubert.
Oh, Chris.
It hasn't shown up in the comments. There it is on the.
I want to cry.
The YouTube pops up before.
Damn it, Chris.
Joe, you are going to have to do some level of production. Speaking of Chris, here.
What do you what?
Because I got to flip to overlays.
Yeah, I'll click on some comments if that's what you mean.
Yes.
Yeah, I can handle.
I don't even need you to click them. I just need you to read them.
Yeah,
be mentally prepared for me to not be dialed in on the chat the entire time, because when it comes time for our administrative duties and our obligations to our partners and friends, I can't do questions and then flip and take a question down and go from there.
Hard buttons we got to push here,
Mentally preparing you to do some level of floating around and producing this thing. If we get ready to start with everybody's hot
Chris Schubert.
If you're in here and you don't have a hot take prepared, we're going to shame you for it, first of all. But please have one ready to go. You could technically drop them whenever, too.
Yeah.
Like we'll do like the formal, like, what's better than this?
Is that what I sound like when I do that?
Yeah, kind of. It's more charming than your Locked On Bills.
What?
Yeah. Sorry.
What?
What's up, Bills Mafia?
Right.
I mean, drinking tonight. What's everybody? Oh God, it's Ren too. Ren's in here as well. Hello.
I'm drinking water, Kyle.
Faces.
You know exactly what I'm drinking. Water. Out of my Birddogs cup.
We have our first hot take from DK. It's a
okay.
tumbler.
Yeah, no,
it's a tumbler. It's not a cup.
Okay. Good to see Bub, my guy.
Have what was my question? Have you retweeted your own thing since we're getting ready to actually hit?
Sure. I will
actually, why don't we retweet each other's?
Oh, okay.
We'll support each other's engagement, and then we'll push play and go. Did you see I know you did. Did you see the picture? Everybody see the picture of my daughter at her ballerina class?
I did.
The second half of that was tap dance, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
was it like that?
Tap dancing, too. Philip. Do we take that one on the air?
We could, but I mean, the merch that they send us is really good, man. I'm a big fan.
Legit, not even like they're super comfortable.
I went out to eat. I went on a date last night with my wife, and I wore their shorts.
I wore them to the dance class today.
Yep, big fan. Big fan of the Birddogs.
And they got 2 pairs, so you just alternate back and forth. And
well, they sent us 3 last time, so I've got like 5 pairs.
Yeah, the joggers are banging too.
They're nice, yeah.
Because the joggers are tough for me because I've got like
thick thighs,
disproportionately thick lower half.
Yeah, Kyle doesn't miss leg
so
day.
It's hard to find joggers that fit, but the elasticity of those, they do fit very well.
All right.
I guess it's time to turn off the night driving.
Yeah.
Bummer. I want to bring it back. I miss it already. All right. Are you going to do a cold open or are we just going to go?
Why don't you want to do one?
No, I don't want to do one.
No, we have to do the cold open.
All right. You don't have one prepared?
No, I'll just wing it. I'm going to wing the cold open unless you want to wing it. Okay. I know this could be bad. This could legitimately be bad.
If it's bad, then I'll do it. And it's just redo it. It's a part of the pre-show.
Yeah.
We'll be fine. And you'll just change where you cut the audio for
Joe improvising. Chris Schubert's out there right now, just shaking his head. He's very nervous. This is
going to be a disaster. Yeah. All right. I need to turn off the ticker.
Hey, this isn't going to be a long cold open, so you be ready to push those buttons.
I'm ready. I got my finger on it right now. So we're already rolling. Whenever you're ready, cold open us into our first takes on takes in what? 3 months?
That's something like that.
It's been a minute.
Pre-draft, maybe.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah, we back. All right. Get loose.
All right. Do I say that we're live in the cold open? Would that be good?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, do that.
It's Takes on Takes. We're live here on the Locked On NFL Scouting YouTube channel. It's going to be a fun one. Buckle up.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys being dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting podcast. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Crabbs from Locked On Dolphins. And we are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league on the Locked On NFL Scouting podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We'd like to thank you for making Locked On NFL Scouting your first listen every day. And of course, a big welcome and a shout out to our everydayers. You know who you are. Those of you who never miss a single episode, we appreciate y'all being here very, very much.
Happy National One Take Joe Day.
Wow.
That's those Charles said, One Take Joe, let's go. That might be a t-shirt. Print the shirts.
One Take
We've got Pronunciation Police.
That's been a new development on the show, and that's a good one, I think.
Kyle's and Joe's versus X's and O's.
Yeah.
Salary cap.
Yeah.
And now we have One Take Joe.
If that was only always true.
It's never true. I wish everybody could travel with you and appreciate the commitment to pre-production that you take and the amount of times you will redo something to get it right.
Yeah, I got problems, basically, is what you're saying.
So we're going to... there's some good takes. We're going to start...
For those that are maybe new to Takes on Takes.
Great. Yeah, it's a great idea. Yeah, reintroduce. It's been a minute since we've done it. So all of your hottest takes. There are a bunch of you that are live in the chat right now. We see a lot of familiar names. We see some new names. The entire objective is we have no content planned. We want to be extremely transparent about that. The content is what you guys want to talk about. And more specifically, our reactions, our take on your take. So whatever your hottest take is, we want to hear it. So don't come in here with no takes. There's no first-time listener, no-time commenter. This is our invitation. All of the things that you want to talk about, football-related, we'll venture non-football related if it's a good one. We tend to do a lot of food takes as well. We're going to do all that here on a free-for-all on a Thursday night with a bunch of our good friends who are listeners and subscribers and everydayers, because you can find us on YouTube wherever you listen to your podcast, and shout out to our everydayers who make us part of their daily routine. Boom. First take. You ready?
I just went with that one.
Okay, that's great.
Clearly the first
one.
From
DK scores goals. It's obviously not DK Metcalf.
Because he scores touchdowns, right?
Because he scores touchdowns, yeah. Right. Christian Gonzalez, cornerback, New England Patriots, will win Defensive Rookie of the Year, Joe, is the take. And your reaction to that is what?
Maybe. I think he's got a reasonable chance. I'm very excited, not necessarily as a rival fan to the Patriots, but I am excited for Christian Gonzalez, one of my favorite prospects in the draft. I thought he would be a top 10 pick. I think the Patriots got him more towards the late teens. I think it's a wonderful fit in terms of the complete skill set that he offers and what New England demands out of that top corner. Man coverage ability, press ability, got to tackle, and Christian Gonzalez does those things. Plus, he showed last year that he has the ability to take away the football. Now, it can be a little bit hard at times for corners to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I know, but I say that, but we're coming off of Sauce Gardner, who just won the thing.
And Tariq would have wanted if
Right. And Marshawn Lattimore won it a few years ago. There's some good pass rushers that are going to have something to say about this, but I think Christian Gonzalez has a real good shot.
I'm going to bring back one of my favorite phrases, and it's law of averages. Law of averages says you're not going to have a corner win defensive player of the year or defensive rookie of the year in consecutive seasons. So I will pass on the take, but I see the pathway for him being a very, very impactful player for the New England Patriots because he checks a lot of prototype boxes. You like the growth that you saw last year and the fact that I think he brings something sorely needed and different to that New England secondary. It's a good first take to get us started. Do you want to keep doing it or do you want me to do it?
I go for the next one. I picked that one, it seems like.
Okay. Mike, Dolphins. Not a hot take. The NFL needs to have a month in which all teams are required to wear throwback uniforms.
Required feels like a strong word here.
You should have a week.
You think that it should be like throwback week? Everybody gets into their
it's
retro
a league heritage week.
Ooh, I like that.
You celebrate the history of the rich history of your organization.
What we can celebrate right now is that we're getting those Seahawks unis this year.
Correct.
We're getting creamsicles from Tampa this year.
Correct.
What else do we know? Those are the two big ones for me.
More banger, I feel like. The Patriots with the Pat.
Yeah, we got that last year, though.
With the white helmet?
Yeah. Very, very, very much remember them wearing against the Bills.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
We'll let that one lie then. Bub, I'm just going right down the line. Bub, NFC South will beat the NFC North head-to-head this year.
Yeah, I think so. Wait a minute. I like Detroit.
Depends on the measure. Are you just talking aggregate of all the games, or you mean the best, the division winner from the South will be better than the division winner from the North?
He's got to mean the aggregate of all the games. But we spent some time talking about the NFC South on the Thursday podcast when we talked about the Saints and kind of got to the conclusion that we feel like this is the team to beat. And then all the odds certainly aligned with that. So I'm riding high on the Saints, but I really like Detroit. I think Chicago will be better. Who knows about Green Bay and Minnesota? Those are X factors, and who knows about the rest of the NFC South?
Fascinating team.
Yeah,
I have an NFC North take.
Okay,
Minnesota finishes last this year.
You think Chicago's better?
I mean, Chicago got better,
and I know Minnesota got worse. But is it like that? Is it that big of a
scheme change defensively? Don't have the horses in the secondary to run what you want to run.
Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, okay.
I know, I get it.
Okay.
Wait, what about Green Bay? Doesn't Green Bay have a case here to be to last in that division?
I think Minnesota's the worst roster in the division.
I think that's fair, but Green Bay feels like
you have to grade Chicago's defensive tackles on a curve because that defensive line's a disaster.
Absolute disaster.
But the rest of the defense, I think, is greater sign.
Oh, you want to talk about spicy? Derek is coming with absolute heat. Hot take, Stetson Bennett will be the best quarterback from this draft class. A draft class that produced 4 first-rounder, Will Levis at 33. Derek is not holding back Stetson Bennett with the Rams. I mean, I don't agree with this. No. I think this would be highly unlikely.
No.
But if Derek's right about that, this is one hell of a receipt.
Derek will have a chance to dunk on us for forever.
Yeah, that is
being honest. But I would kindly pass on that take.
This one from Justin has to be next. But before we get there, take your first swing at betting MLB on FanDuel and get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets up to $200. That's right. Just bet $20 and you'll land $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. That's $200 you can spend betting everything from the money line to over under to who you think is going to hit the first home run. All in an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Plus, when you win, you can get paid instantly. There's no better place to bet on MLB than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So sign up today and visit FanDuel.com/LockedOnNFL to get up to $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/LockedOn. FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball.
Quick snap me there.
This has to be the next one. Justin supplies us with this.
The new Devontae Parker contract is the worst signing this offseason. The worst. I saw Zach Allen get 15 per. I think that's worse than this.
Yeah, that one's crazy. But like, I think that the Juwan Bentley deal was worse potentially than the Devontae Parker deal.
That is a horrible.
Well, we've lost Kyle. He's walked off the. I guess it's just me here doing this. I think both of the Patriots deals from the last 2 days were very underwhelming. $9 million plus a year for Juwan Bentley, a very limited player that really, I mean, yeah, he played better last year, but the last the poop emoji has made a return on it, and that's for me because Kyle didn't like
it's a horrible take.
But Parker, I mean, it's what, $11 million a season for Parker? They're both bad contracts.
Juwan Bentley's at least an adequate level starter. I got to get my camera.
He got double what David Long got? Double.
He got less than Bobby Okereke did.
Barely. And that was also a kind of a crazy deal.
Come on back to me now. There we go. Okay. The poop hat for Juwan Bentley is a worse contract than Devontae Parker. You deserve it.
What I mean, Mike McGlinchey was pretty aggressive.
Yeah, but you knew what you were getting with Mike McGlinchey. He was like one of how many adequate level starting tackles were available on the market?
Not many, but
how many right tackle? It was Juwan Taylor and Mike McGlinchey, right? And Juwan Taylor got 20. So I was not surprised that McGlinchey got 17. I was expecting 15. But
what about that Marcus Davenport deal in Minnesota? That one was rough.
It was only a 1-year deal, right?
Yeah, but that's a lot baked into it with void years. I mean,
they put 4 void years.
Yeah, dude.
They put 4. I think they almost have as many salary cap hit next year when he's not under contract than they do.
You better hope this works out and you bring him back, right? Jeez.
Man, I knew there were some good ones up here. Chiefed out. The way Kyle says dollars is worse than the way Joe says chocolate.
I say chocolate.
No, you say chocolate.
Chocolate.
We're not doing another
made with 100% real chocolate. Chocolate. I say chocolate.
You say chocolate.
Normal way to say it. What Kyle says dollars? What is it? How does he say it?
Dollars? I didn't think it was weird.
$40 million? Is that how do you say it? This has never stood out to me in my entire life. I've heard you say the word dollars a lot.
One more not. Yeah, you have heard me talk about dollars a lot, especially this year, right?
Yes.
We have to acknowledge this one from Steven.
We got in trouble.
Correct. The question is, how did you squeeze 15 minutes more on the Dolphin show than the Bill show when we did the roster deep dives? We got yelled at because the shows are supposed to be 30 minutes. And that was not a 30-minute show. It was not close to a 30-minute show. So we were mentally prepared to do it. And then we kind of got pulled aside. I was like, hey, guys, the content's great. But can you please whittle it down a little bit? It's a great problem to have with too much content in the offseason, but you guys got to chill. So we had to chill. So we wanted to acknowledge that. I saw that in comments on the Bills video. We were being asked like, yo.
Well, because you also finished the Dolphins episode by saying something like, we promise we'll do the same thing.
We'll gas up the Bills the same way, and then we got yelled at. So that's what happened there.
Yeah.
Do you want to go back to a football take?
I do. I like this one from Jacob about the Browns. Jacob says the Browns are being criminally underrated by the league heading into this year.
Not by us.
Their roster's good.
I'll tell you, not accounting quarterbacks, because we haven't ranked the quarterbacks 1 through 32 yet. Their non-quarterback roster ranking is top 6 in the NFL, according to the project that we did.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a really good roster.
We just need Deshaun's got to find his game. He finds his game, they're going to be a dangerous football team.
Shout out to Jay from Canada.
What's up? Welcome.
Carter, here's one. Arthur Smith wins Coach of the Year, and the Falcons win 2 playoff games. So this is at minimum an NFC Championship game appearance.
At minimum.
I think I did that math. We don't do math well in this show, but I think we did that one right.
You win 2 playoff games, and you start in the wild card round. That means you're in the NFC Championship game. I saw somebody out there that said, I don't remember who it was on Twitter, said they're going to be aggressive with their Super Bowl prediction, and they were predicting Jags-Falcons for the Super Bowl.
That is aggressive.
Desmond Ritter's their quarterback. Has people forgotten this?
That's very aggressive.
With a bunch of new parts on defense, and probably the most. I mean, they have talent at their skill positions, but it's very unproven.
How about the weekly huddle here with another one? You guys are filling up the bucket with hot takes, which we appreciate. Sam Howell will be a 2023 Pro Bowl quarterback as a non-replacement selection. So original top 3 Pro Bowl selection. FC. Reason. Previously seen as a high-end prospect heading into 2022 draft cycle. Eric Bieniemy, underrated skill group.
So you get 3 Pro Bowl quarterbacks, right?
Yes.
Let's assume Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
Dak. Would you? I mean,
Stafford. I know they're going to be
Goff
bad,
is in there.
Goff. I'm selling.
Gino. Yeah, I'm selling this too. But I think I think Sam Howell is a fascinating option for Washington this year. I can respect what you're saying there about Bieniemy. I think the receivers are good. I have questions about the O-line, and I have questions about Sam Howell.
Give me a stat line.
Sam Howell?
Sam Howell stat line, 2023. Play 17 games.
Man. He'll probably average, around 200 yards a game passing?
I can fix this. I'll use my calculator. You
so around
200? 210?
That'd be 3,400 passing yards for the season.
One take, Joe. Nailed the math.
Well, I had a calculator right here in front of me on the computer.
You shouldn't have said that.
Fired it up. Yeah, no, I can't take credit for good math if I didn't do it. I don't know, like 15 touchdowns.
15.
Yeah. You think he's going to throw like 20 touchdown passes?
20 touch. Yeah, I think he's going to average like 1.05 touchdowns per game. Yes.
And okay, well, that would give him about 20.
Right.
I'll take the under.
15. You said less than one touchdown per game.
I'll take the under on that.
Boxville Park.
Yeah, I'll take less than 20 touchdown passes for Sam Howell this year. There it is. All right. Chris, put it down.
First, Chris, yeah, you're the first one of the year.
Because I think we might have another one. And I have no idea what it is, and we haven't kept up.
It was snaps on who was the third linebacker somewhere.
Well, we talked about that. I haven't committed to that, but I thought there was a different one.
But what linebacker was it?
It was with the Saints. Was it the Saints today? Or
no.
Who did we do yesterday? Cardinals? Chris Barnes? Was it Chris Barnes?
Was it Chris Barnes?
I don't remember.
I think it was Chris Barnes.
I don't remember.
You said it was 20 snaps for Barnes.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will think about what that is and continue this really fun episode of Takes on Takes right after a very, very quick break.
You weren't going to quick snap me that time. I was ready. You see how quick I dropped the transition slide?
That was very well done. Okay.
All right.
How about this one?
Pick the first one.
You want spicy? How about Charles here claiming Baltimore wins the AFC North? Of course, a division that also features the Bengals, the Browns, and the Steelers.
I need to see a little bit of this offense. Is that fair to say? I think they have a lot of potential on defense. I still think they need some veteran pass rush help. I think that's the big weakness they have versus Cleveland with Garrett and Zadarius Smith, Pittsburgh with Hayward and TJ Watt. Who did I not acknowledge here? Cincinnati, obviously their defensive line, Reader's capable of some push, but they're outside guys. Got a first-round pick in Murphy, Hendrickson, Hubbard. I'd say, but is it fair to say Baltimore is the worst edge group out of the division?
Yeah, but I mean, there's also some really good edge duos in the division. Yeah,
of course, but
yes.
It's. I mean, if you're going to measure it up,
yeah.
So with that and the offense being we're expecting so dramatically different, I just got to see it. I don't think it's a crazy take.
Kyle, Jalen Hurts had 22 passing touchdowns last year.
Yeah. Don't
You
worry.
think Sam Howell's getting 20?
I don't think Sam Howell's going to rush for like 800 yards and 15.
I don't think he is either, and I don't think that has anything to do with him getting to 20 touchdown passes.
Well, I think it has to do with why Jalen Hurts only threw 22 last year.
Okay.
Ren's here, so we got to throw one up for Ren. Bucks win the South. Baker wins comeback player of the year, and Rachaad White gets over 1.5K yards from scrimmage. Caught a lot of balls last year. Tabe had like 120 receptions to backs last year. Now, granted, Tom checked it down a ton because he had to, and they threw the ball 750 times, but nevertheless. What's most likely out of this?
I think the most likely is the Rachaad White piece of it.
I would agree. Go ahead, finish your thought that I cut you off on. Rudely.
No, you didn't cut me off. I didn't get into it. But here's the thing about comeback player of the year. If DeMar Hamlin makes the Bills roster, he's going to be the comeback player of the year.
Okay, so cross that one off.
Right, so that's just not going to happen. I think they could win the NFC South. They're in that conversation. I do think Rachaad White, I mean, right now, who's really threatening his workload?
So we're saying the least likely of these is Baker wins comeback player of the year. And It's not necessarily any slight against Baker.
No, he could do it.
It's just there's another storyline
right,
prominent at the front of everyone's mind that was on a nationally televised game that I think would rightfully command everybody's attention in that regard.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Mike, you got it's a good take, but you already dropped the take. I want to get one from somebody that we haven't acknowledged yet.
Oh man, these comments are funny.
Okay, Cole. You'll have to pick a few out.
Well, they're not necessarily takes; they're just funny comments.
Yeah, so to pick a few out because I'm sitting here scrolling. I put myself under pressure of trying to find a take live, and I wasn't reading them as they were coming in. Colt with a Broncos comment. That's fun. Colt, horse,
get it.
Bronco. Yeah, get it?
Yeah.
As a Broncos fan with a twin who's a Giants fan, what do you think that's like having a twin?
That's got to be tough. Especially if you don't have this.
Tougher for them or tougher for the parents? Because we're both draft dads now.
Tougher for the parents.
Imagine
unfathomable to me. I can. The amount of conversations I had with Jordan Reed after I had a kid.
Because he had twins.
I was like, brother, how did you do two? You know,
here's running my wife's family too. I was petrified.
I know you got lucky with that. I have a friend, Scott Morano. You met him when we were in Buffalo. He has triplets, and yeah. So I asked him the question. The greatest line I've ever heard.
Oh my Lord!
I said, Scott, how do you do it with the triplets? He goes, Joe, I get that question all the time, but here's what it comes down to. I don't want to be the guy in the paper that killed his kids. So you just figure it out.
Or just like driving a car, right? You just keep it between the lines. Don't do anything crazy. All right. He actually did submit a football question, so we should probably acknowledge that. Denver can be like New York this year, making the playoffs and winning a wild card game. Lots of parallels. Is that reasonable to think? Much respect.
I think it's absolutely reasonable. I think the challenge is how much has to come together for Denver and just how good the AFC is. You and I talk all the time, like a 10-11 win team, probably at least one 10-win team doesn't make it in the AFC and potentially
been like
11.
For like 3 years now.
Yeah. It's just tough, man.
So, yeah, I think from the parallel of a dramatic coaching improvement and a quarterback that was maligned and you're hoping to maximize the talent that's on the defensive side of the ball, I think there's plenty there that you can point to for Denver. I think the challenge is you're still probably the third best team in the division. Giants were too. But it's a race to 10 wins, and even that's not going to be guaranteed to get you in. So that's the challenge. Philip, Mike McCarthy, first head coach fired before the season. Before the end of the season.
Don't you think that Dallas is going to be kind of in it? People say this about Dallas, but they're pretty patient with their coaches. At least if you look at the Jason Garrett.
Yeah, the Garrett experiment lasted probably 3 years longer than it needed to.
Like I think we always feel like Dallas is this quick triggered team, and I'm not sure they are. So I would say no, but like what's funner to me is to think about who is this coach that's fired first.
And then Sam Teets has another take. And then Joe, I know I might stay on.
No, I'm good. Things have calmed down around
Things
here.
have calmed down.
Let's hang out.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll finish, and then if we want to go more, we can go more.
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes me feel better about those of you who have dropped takes that we are not close to sniffing yet. Okay, so who are we expecting to be bad that shouldn't be bad?
Well,
Ron.
Who was that?
Ron.
Yeah, new ownership there too.
Yes.
With like Del Rio and Bieniemy on staff, where you feel like you can turn it over to them.
Two coaching candidates.
Yeah.
The South.
I think about Atlanta a little bit, but
I think they'll be competitive enough,
right, to kind of be in it. What about Brandon Staley? Like, it just doesn't come together. They're not in it. It's kind of been goofy at times. He coaches defense well, but
how bad would it have to get for them to fire Brandon Staley, though? Seasons made the playoffs last year. I understand they collapsed and to miss the playoffs the year before that in his first season. Like, I get it. But what's the record for Chargers to say, you know what? We've seen enough.
It's hard. Because I think generally speaking, you want to have optimism about every team right now.
Correct. I think the only in-season coach that I see as a feasible one is Ron Rivera.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, Sam Teets with a coach take. 6 active NFL head coaches will be enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame after they retire.
Belichick, Andy Reid, Mike Tomlin for sure. Harbaugh. Pete Carroll.
Pete and Repeat are in a boat, and Pete falls out. Who's left?
Yeah.
Who's left?
I don't know.
I'll say it again. Pete and Repeat are in a boat, and Pete falls out. Who is left?
Repeat, I guess.
Pete and Repeat are in a boat, and Pete falls out. Who's left?
I'm not whatever you want me to fall into here, I'm resisting as best I can.
You already did, because when you say repeat, I just repeat the statement.
Is this the level of dad jokes when the second one's on the way? Is that what happens? You just get cornier?
Yeah, that's what
can't help it. Gotcha.
So we had 5. Who are we missing? Shanahan? Got to win a Super Bowl. McVay?
Well, yeah, he's on that type of trajectory.
Yeah.
Is he going to coach long enough, right? If that's my question with him.
He'll come back.
If he leaves, he's one of those.
He'll come back.
He's one of those.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of good young coaches. I mean, is that crazy? But isn't it crazy to think that at any point you could have 6 Hall of Fame coaches, like at any point? Like,
I don't know. Think about the quarterback environment that we had with Ben and Tom and Drew and Peyton. Like, all those guys played together. You had like a golden era of quarterbacks that was like.
Wait, is Sean Payton a coach that should have been considered in the 6?
Yeah. So I think we have at least 8 or 9 candidates. I think it's a reasonable take.
I see the chat is disappointed in me falling into that.
Are they? You pull up a take. I'm gonna read them.
Pull up the takes about me?
No, pull up take, a football take. I'm gonna read the reactions.
You know what
Chris?
What had me
hear Chris now?
What had me cracking up earlier when I was reading the comments was I can't find it. People were talking about their team's episode and like where the sidetracks were, and somebody was like, "You're complaining I lost 6 minutes to Mark Mosley." We went into the kicker thing from 1982.
That was Ren. It was Ren.
Was it? We don't mean for these things to happen. We don't.
You want to squeeze one more in for the formal show?
Yeah, I would love to.
Do you have one?
Let's roll with that one.
Oh, that was the one I was going to pick from Austin Shatler.
I think it's
Joe Burrow. Did I miss?
I don't know if pronunciation police arrest this man.
Go ahead. Take me away.
It's Schlachter. That'd be my guess. Yeah.
Joe Burrow will win MVP is the take.
He's got a good shot. I think he's got the second highest odds, right? Or he's tied with Josh Allen for the highest odds.
Really?
Yeah.
Then I would probably pass. When you're in the driver's seat and you're the expected guy, it's just so hard to live up to that.
Well, I mean, I think it's these Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Hurts, right? I think that's where you start the conversation.
Yeah.
Lamar, maybe.
When's the next time a non-quarterback wins MVP?
Oh, it's not happening.
What would have to happen?
It's already did. If it couldn't have been Cooper Kupp or Justin Jefferson the last 2 years, it can't be anybody. It's the quarterback that had the best season.
Charles, longtime listeners, and you can tell. He said, take the field. Take the field.
All right.
All right. Is that it? Is that it for the live?
That's it for the live. We're going to stick around. But
we're going to stick around and hang out for a little bit, but it all the more incentive if you're not on the YouTube channel to hit subscribe on the YouTube channel. Of course, on YouTube or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. We appreciate the everydayers who are locked in with us on a daily basis because it is your teams every day here on the Locked On Network. I'm Kyle Crabbs. He is Joe Marino. We are the Draft Dudes, and we're out of here. Peace. Psych, we're still here. All right, so we're back into mellow vibe, non-podcast production mode.
Let your hair down, correct? Man, you know
what I am going to do.
Oh, vibes are back.
Going to put the night driving on StreamYard back.
Oh, man, look at this. Look at this. An encore. What are your thoughts on actual encores? I go to concerts all the time. I think they're ridiculous.
Just put in your set.
Just play all your songs and be done and let us leave.
Don't save one of your best songs.
Right.
To purposely leave and then come back and make us stand and clap.
Yeah.
It's very old man, get off my lawn with me, and I get that, but like
no. Miss me
shows
with
over the
encores. I go to concerts all the time. I hate them.
You go to more concerts than anybody I've met. I'm going to be honest. You go to 2 concerts a month.
You got Luke Combs coming up next in 2 weeks.
He was just up here in Philly, I think.
Yeah, I hate that you missed that, man.
Yeah, I think I'll be all right. Here's a take. Phil, Jordan Palmer was the best Draft Dude's guest.
Man, he was awesome.
He was awesome.
Ozzie Newsome.
Both times he was on, he was awesome.
Yeah.
Do you think Ozzy's mine as well? But do you think that's because of what we do and who Ozzy is?
Probably. But Jordan just opens up and is very insightful.
Yeah, very transparent with his process.
Yeah.
What he does with his guys.
Who was
he gives them.
I thought Phillip Rivers was really good too.
Yeah, he was.
These retired football players like to talk, man.
Mm-hmm. Get back and round the game a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Best active player.
The spot or quality of player?
No, the spot.
Alvin Kamara?
Alvin was great.
Brian Burns?
Brian Burns was goated. And then Creed Humphrey was awesome too.
Oh, Creed. Yeah, he was great.
The Creed segment was really good.
Man, we've had some good guests.
Burns got into in-depth pass rush stuff though.
Yeah.
I think that's mine. Is Brian.
That's good.
Roger McCreary, good call by Bub.
Tariq?
Chris, Peaches is the
best. Yeah. You're not wrong about that, Chris. You're not wrong about that.
Good old Peaches, the golden retriever puppy from the bar in Mobile. His dad reached out to me.
This is incredible.
He's a sports media guy, I think. Let me find some of the takes.
Jim Nagy's always a great guess.
I had him on Locked On Dolphins. He was great too. Philip wants you to know Captain Planet never would have fell for the Pete repeat.
I know. I know. He's probably disappointed in me right now as he's out there fighting Thor.
Steven had this take. Chiefs are a wild card team. Chargers beat them twice. It's been a decade, right? It's been a decade straight they've won that division.
Is it 10? I know they've been to 6 consecutive AFC championship games. My God.
It's obnoxious.
Right. Can we end that this year, perhaps?
I saw a stat. It was another one of those stats from that drop an NFL stat that feels like it can't be true, but is. Patrick Mahomes has never lost a road divisional game. Right. And they beat the Broncos like 15 straight times, I think.
The Chiefs have won it every year since 2016. And the Broncos won it
8.
the previous 5 years the Broncos won it.
Share the love. Be like the NFC East.
No. If you're a Chiefs fan, you're enjoying this.
Right. Nobody else is, let's be honest. Broncos, Chiefs, head-to-head. I want to make sure I get it right. The Kansas City Chiefs. The Denver Broncos last beat Kansas City on September 17th, 2015.
Oh, here's a fun stat. The Packers have never won in Buffalo.
6, 7, 8,
I think that's fun for me, at
11,
least.
12, 13, 14, 15 consecutive games. The Kansas City Chiefs have beat the Denver Broncos.
I think the Patriots have a big streak against the Jets right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Chris, can you confirm? Are you still here?
Yikes.
Is this the year the NFC East finally repeats?
I think probably.
It'll still be close with Dallas. I think it'll be close.
I'm getting FOMO here from Bub and Sam getting together in UNC Charlotte, which is 10 minutes from my house. I'm going to be out of town all next week.
Maybe I'll come down.
Got a place to stay. You can water my plants. That'd be great.
R. McGillick, if you're here and we missed this, we're here now. And I hope you don't tweet us and say that you left, because then we'll be able to say, go back and watch the encore. Jimmy G will fail his physical and get cut. The Raiders will get the first pick the following year of Hoyer and Aiden O'Connell. And McDaniels will not draft a QB at 1 overall due to his ego. Everything here checks out to me.
But wait, I don't understand the part where McDaniels wouldn't draft the quarterback number 1.
Needs a guy that knows the system.
Oh no. You can't do that. He drafted Tebow, didn't he?
You also can't commit to take a job and then back out the night before the introductory press conference and have a bunch of coaches that signed on to be on your assistant staff and then say, you know what, never mind, and then force that team to retain those coaches for an entire year without the head coach that brought them onto the roster.
So
you can't do that either.
So Mac Jones is the next quarterback of the Raiders, is what you're saying? Because he's running out of options.
Right.
They have to run the system. Jarrett Stidham coming back
because the McDaniels pipeline is like 3 quarterbacks deep right now.
Wow.
This is a fun take.
Yeah, it is fun.
The first pick.
Caleb Williams is like special, right? Like,
yes, I think so. I think we have a Patriots fan amongst us. The floor for the Patriots this year is 8-win season. Love you guys.
Take it down to 7 and I'll meet you there.
Yeah, I'd say 7 to 9 wins.
That's what we said during the Patriots episode. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just you don't have a lot of margin for error on a weekly basis.
Right. Yeah.
McGillick's still here. Excellent. Austin Schlattler. Marcus Colston's the most underrated receiver ever. The quiet storm.
Ever.
Who's your favorite, like, non 10,000 yard receiver? Maybe Marcus Colston got there. I don't think that he did. I think he was close.
I need to check to make sure that this player didn't get 10,000 yards. Oh, not even close. 5,273. My answer is Miles Austin.
Oh yeah, he was
Fun player.
Good in Dallas there for a bit.
Yeah, I got
seen a lot of Brandon Lloyd on my Twitter timeline recently.
Really, that's a random name, but he had some good years, man.
Those crazy catches.
Yeah.
The rerun of Aronde Gadsden.
You know what's a great one of those NFL stats? What was it about the Chiefs like maybe 10 years ago in like the receivers in the amount of touchdowns that they had? They'd gone like
20 games or something like that
without a receiver catching a touchdown pass.
They win a whole season. It was a whole season.
Something crazy, yeah. We're both trying to find it. 2014.
First team since the 1964 Giants and the only team in the 16-game era to complete an entire season with no touchdown passes to a wide receiver.
Incredible. That's a good one. Oh, Sam Teet's pulling Mike Wallace. I guess for him, that's probably a good pull. For you, not so much.
Kick rocks, Mike.
Oh, good call. This Stevie Johnson's fun.
Actually, Mike Wallace has been replaced by Will Fuller as my most.
I think that's probably pretty fair.
Did you see Trill Williams and Javon Holland tweet about?
No,
about Will Fuller the other day?
No, what was it? That sounds like I need to hear it.
Somebody posted that was the injury announcement after he left the game with a broken finger. It was like either ESPN or NFL Network. They said, and he's going to be week to week. And the quote from the original person was like, quote unquote, week to week. And then Trill quote tweeted and tagged Javon Holland with like the laughing, crying face emoji. And Javon was like, yo, chill. Like, it's just really fun to see Dolphins players pipe in on that. Because Fuller missed was like 14 games with a broken finger. Between him and Byron Jones, man, a couple weird injuries the last couple years. I know we had at least one more question. Ren asked recap our quick thoughts on the Devin White episode. Unique player skill set.
Yeah.
Probably more valuable to the scheme that he's in than the vast majority of other schemes across the league.
Processing, tackling, coverage are major issues.
Would probably not pay him $20 million per season.
Or half of that.
Would you pay him more than Jawan Bentley got?
No.
To bring it full circle.
No.
Phil, yes. Brian Schottenheimer was the OC that I wanted the Dolphins to hire going into 2021. So the year they settled on co-coordinators and a college coordinator who never called plays before like 1 year at like Division III. I thought Brian Schottenheimer was a better option than that pathway. And that was the name that I'd identified.
Well, my wife has sent me an SOS.
I know what that means.
So,
I mean, it means it's time for us to call it an evening.
Yeah, I got to bounce,
that
man.
Means.
Yeah.
All right. Well, appreciate everybody who tuned in for the pre-show, the post-show, the actual show. But we're going to check out. You can relive this on the podcast feed tomorrow. We ask you to do that. And Joe, you could leave whenever. Like, we're not recording right now. So
peace. Hey, we'll be doing some more live streams coming up with schedule predictors. So
yeah. So come on by and see him. And thanks for tuning in.